Look, it's time to say hello to two of our favourite funny people. Would you please welcome Susie, Youssef and Tommy Bello?
Hello, beautiful people. Sorry, we've just been crying in the green room together watching the
What's the
show.
vibe in the green room like?
It's like a funeral.
Yeah, it's
I guess it is a funeral, really. when you
It
think
is,
about
and I wore black, but I got my tits out as well, so it's like...
A confusing funeral. I respect it.
One of you didn't follow the dress code, clearly. I'm not sure who...
Yeah, I don't know. We've stuffed up already, which is... I've spent 10 years stuffing up on the show, so it's nothing new. Like everybody, I'm going to miss this show. The one thing I did want to say was to the people back home. Literally, my time on the show, which I will forever be grateful for, was just trying to make you laugh. And people at home, if you'd often have days where you wouldn't have a laugh, that's all I wanted to give you. And I understand it's a privilege doing what we get to do, right? And it's an honour, and like I said, I will never forget it. So thanks to the support of the people at home for making a dream job a reality. Yes, Susie.
Point of order.
Yes.
That was pretty earnest.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah. Any follow-up?
I've got my pants off under the table. Hamish... Did Hamish mention...
No, he also didn't. He didn't pan down when we asked,
Yeah.
so we're all disappointed. Susie, your most memorable moments on the show?
In my first year on the show, which was many moons ago, I was sent to Uluru when the walk was being closed, and I had an ear infection. I remember saying, I don't think I'm well enough to do this. Also, I'm not a journalist. And they were like, hey, you're on the right show. Go and do it. It was extraordinary. And Jules and that team were incredible. I will never forget it as long as I live. The people that I spoke to, I got to interview Eddie Murphy on this show. Like, I got to meet Marion Keyes, one of my favourite authors. My dad came on this show, which I feel like I'm going to cry to say that. My sister did an in-break tease.
Geez, you really got the family some gigs.
Well, they on the paper were a bit bloated. Is that why we got cancelled, maybe?
Yeah, there were so many things, but I genuinely haven't worked in a place like this before. And it's funny because all day I've been crying with Georgie Tunny, her more than me.
That's just facts, yeah.
And she said to me many times, this isn't goodbye for us. And it isn't. These are lifelong friendships, I hope. And I won't forget the early days of being an idiot with this guy and the will they, won't they won't.
Broken hearts across the nation, but all right.
The night's still young, Susie. The night is still
Finally,
young.
will they?
Tommy, after that sweet burn, I want to know, one thing I've noticed, we're looking through the archives, you put your body on the line quite a lot on this show.
Yeah.
Is that something you just got told to do, or is it a passion of yours?
No, I think, particularly for Carrie's fundraisers...
Sorry, I was just getting my nose out of your shot.
Good luck, you're going to have to back that thing up a metre.
The sexual tension, can you feel?
Yeah.
You know, if I tip my head back on a sundial. I don't know if this is what we're meant to talk about, but I only remembered this the other day. I was such a fan of this show and I wanted to work on this show so badly. It was when the Metro Whip was happening. So I used to do audience warm-up on this show first, and then when I got offered a Metro Whip, right, and when the city that I was in was taken, so if I was living in Melbourne, and if that was taken, I would get my manager to ask, is there any vacancies in the other cities? And she would say, oh, there's no one in Sydney. And so I say, great, I'll be in Sydney. And then I would fly to Sydney to do the Metro Whip from Sydney, to be on TV for 10 seconds. Wow. I would only get paid enough to pay for one way of the airfare. And I was a broke comedian, so then I would have to gig enough in Sydney, do enough stand-up gigs to afford the airfare home. That's how desperately I wanted to be a part of this wonderful show.
Well, thanks for doing that.
And then, what did I do with my time? Bungee jumped nude.
Yeah. Well, there you are.
Any regrets about that?
No, how's the rigatoni back in the day?
You're looking red hot.
Susie, why didn't you tap that? That's not the same rig now. Any women watching, it doesn't look the same.
Oh, Susan Youssef, I could just stare at you for days on end because you are absolute magic.
Keep it in your pants,
world. Yeah, really the answer is why haven't you tapped this season? To be honest with you. But you talk about some of the amazing people that you've got to meet, Eddie Murphy, some of your celebrities. Who has had the biggest effect on you?
Gosh, that's a hard question. I hate being on this side. I want to be over there. It's a really hard question, but do you know, when we sat on the desk, I don't remember it the way that we see these packages. I remember it from here, and I would have to answer by not really answering a question and say, I'm going to miss the rehearsal before the show. I'm going to miss the makeup room and being downstairs with Lily and Anna. I'm going to miss all of those people who are just my pals at work. Like, it's, yes, we make a show and that's wonderful, but the actual workplace part of it is the bit I'm going to miss the most. And if the show never went to air, I would have been fine with that. My managers probably wouldn't have, because he wouldn't have made any money, but it was everything else that I loved. And I can't pick out a particular moment with someone famous. I mean, I did flirt with Mark Ronson, so that was pretty nice.
Yeah. Did he know?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's funny because some men are perceptive.
Guys, I'm so glad you're here because, you know, doing the funny stuff on this show, doing comedy stuff, it is such a privilege, like you were saying, Tommy. And you can't do it, I think, without the contribution of the people at home, everyday Australians. And what I love about them is that when they see, like, a reporter with a microphone, they think, I'll just go talk to them with no plan. And right now, I would like to do a tribute to them.
From my balcony, I could just see these huge, big flames. And I just went, eek.
Tell us what you're looking for in a good-looking dairy cow.
Pretty much the same as a good-looking woman, something that looks pretty smart.
Tell us about the house and the people who live there.
Bunch of bogans, if you ask me.
It's the lowest tree canopy of any city in Australia. And I've got a metal arm.
I have a new song coming out called Scooters.
Do you actually?
No, I don't.
Hey, I'm Luke Patrizzi, and just saved this guy's life. We got him out the front. Luckily, because 5 minutes later, he would have been kabush.
Well, I'm boycotting Woolies. Apart from today, I'm hungover and need some juice.
One teenage girl come in and she actually wanted a boyfriend.
Lots of sex.
What would you like?
Toy boy.
No cars can get through at all. It's treacherous. No, you're ruining my spotlight.
What was she saying?
Oh, she was just saying, get my dogs, get the dogs. And I was like, what about the bloke inside? Like,
They had to go resort to, you know, hitting him with a hammer. It's like, there's probably other ways you can get someone.
Marijuana was a big thing when I was younger. No, I didn't do it.
white T-shirt, short hair, and a bad head. I said, he's dog ugly.
What would you say to them?
Get a job.
Can we ask you quickly, why was it important for you to be here today?
Because I'm gay.
I have to warn you, there's no sausage sizzle up there.
We don't. I don't eat the Australian sizzle.
Kabush.
Also, if Front Lady is looking for a toy boy as of tomorrow, I have a lot of time on my hands. Guys, please thanks Tommy and Susie. Thanks for coming in. It's been beautiful. Before we do, I also want to give a big shout out to the comedy department here. Yes. You guys would know there's so many amazing comedy writers that work here. A special big shout out to Liam, Errol, Hunter, Rob as well. These guys have been with the show. I mean, there's so many if we're going to go
name them all then. Why don't you?
They didn't wear name tags today, so I can't. No, there's so many amazing writers, and it's been a staple of the Melbourne comedy scene that everyone would have a little stint here working on the project. Some have gone on to do amazing things, and it's been a pleasure to work with all of them. So big shout out to the comedy department.